And a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Hey all, Rick here from Ticats Talk Network, and we're going to be doing some off-season videos. So, the first one, so just an FYI, so February 11th, which is going to be a Tuesday, I will be doing a live coverage like I did last year on the channel. So we will be doing an all-day live stream, and I will be breaking down the rumors, players that will be signing, what their deals like, what their numbers were like, with the Ticat players, where they will be playing on the team, etc., what the team will look like going into camp, etc. So we'll have all of that. But today we're going to look at the top 30 free agents across the league, starting from 30 and working our way up to 1. So one of my favorites that I wish the Ticats would sign if he was a free agent is Jalen Philpott. Jalen Philpott is a receiver out of Calgary, the same year that his brother was drafted to Montreal. Now with Jalen, he's the type of person where he's had a bad thing with injuries, and I just think with Jake Mayer not in Calgary anymore, Philpott's or Jalen's career will skyrocket once he gets a good quarterback, because he's had a really bad quarterback the last few years since Bo left. His career really hasn't gone anywhere. So he had his best season in 2024, 66 catches for 659 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he was using the running game, rushing 15 times for 115 yards. He is, again, still only 24 years old, so he still has quite the year ahead of him. Number 21, Kadeem Carey. This past season, I want to say, is probably his best season. Now, when I say his best, I mean a full season. He played a crucial role in the team's run to the 111th Grey Cup. The veteran running back rushed for 191 times for 1,060 yards, 7 majors, while also catching 356 yards and a touchdown as a passing threat in the backfield. The tailback earned East Division All-Star or All-Star, All ECHL, or All CFL, if you want to call it. It will be all, I call it the All CFL All-Star. In 2024, his third, because he had one in 21, 22, and now 24 in his 4 years. Led the league in missed tackles forced as a runner with 58. First downs is 67. Also leading in touchdown runs, 7 amongst running backs. Number 28, Deshaun Amos. Amos was named East Division All CFL team in 2024 after catching 5 picks for the Toronto Argonauts. The defensive back has a total of 10 total picks over his last 3 years in Toronto, including 2 pick sixes. The veteran is good for 16 total interceptions over his 6-year career, while also helping the Toronto Argonauts capture 2 Grey Cups in 22 and 24, winning another with the Calgary Stampeders in 28. Amos' 5 picks matched a career high that he totaled in 2019, earned him a nomination for West Division All CFL team. Number 27, Malik Carney. Malik Carney played in only 12 games for the Rough Riders in 2024, but was a pressure machine. He was on the field. The veteran sacked the quarterback 4 times while leading the league in winning percentage amongst pass rushers with at 100 snaps, according to the Pro Football Focus, winning 17.9% of his matchups for a total pressure percentage of 15.9. Carney totaled 45 pressures and only 289 pass rushes snapped, as one of the most offensive or effective pass rushers in the CFL. Number 26, William Stanback. William Stanback arrived in Vancouver immediately, gave the team rushing threat they had been lacking in the previous season. The veteran rushed for 231 yards for 1,175 yards, 3 majors, and just 1 yard shy of his career high. Stanback did register a career high in the passing game, though, catching 46 catching 46 should be 46 catches for 413 yards, not 46 yards for 413 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Lions running back earned 52 rushing first downs, forced 51 missed tackles, and registered 751 yards after contact, adding 16 first downs and 333 yards after catch as a receiver. Stanback brings a championship experience, playing a pivot role with Montreal in their 110th Grey Cup, winning a year ago. Number 25, Michael Wakefield, defensive line with Ottawa. Wakefield finished tied for the lead in sacks with 8, but his impact went way beyond that. The defensive lineman had 44 total pressures on the season, with 33 hits on opposing quarterbacks. The veteran was also forced 3 fumbles to go along with 30 defensive tackles as a forced for the Red Blacks defense. Ottawa was a unit, finishing 3rd in rushing yards allowed per game, 95.9, finishing 3rd in sacks with, as a unit, 39 in sacks. His efforts made him a 2024 East Division All-CFL selection at defensive tackle among teammates Lorenzo Malden IV at defensive end. Number 24, Marcus Sayles, DB, Saskatchewan. Marcus Sayles finished the 3rd best coverage grade at 89.9 amongst defensive backs, according to the PFF in 2024, due to allowing only 54.8% of passes thrown his way to be completed, while finishing 13 completions and only missing 6 total tackles. The veteran played a lot of coverage, 111 snaps, good for 5th most in the league, winning his battles at the line of scrimmage more than not. Sayles also came down with 4 interceptions, including a critical pick 6 in Week 5 against Toronto Argonauts. Number 23, Walter Fletcher, running back, Montreal. The young running back took over for William Stanback in 2024, more than lived up to the task with the Montreal Alouettes. Fletcher offered unmatched dual threat ability coming off in the backfield. The 5'9" tailback rushed for 141 yards for 764 times and 4 touchdowns, while also catching 71 passes for 682 yards and 3 majors. Fletcher showed his elusiveness in both phases of the game, forcing 28 tackles and gaining 26 first yards as a runner, while gaining 29 first downs and forcing 28 missed tackles as a receiver. Any team looking for a running back who can play every down will be interested in Fletcher. Number 22, David Beard. Offensive line, Hamilton. David Beard was the anchor for the middle of the offensive line for the Hamilton Ticats offense that finished first in most offensive categories. The Tabbies led the league in passing yards per game, 332.1. Total yards at 406.1, and first downs at 393. Hamilton also finished tied for second in sacks allowed, 30, while leading the league in average yards on first down at 7.4. The veteran also finished with a 98.4 passing block effective for PFF, while generating 35 positive plays in the running game. Beard was a 2024 All-CFL for his efforts leading the offensive line in Hamilton. Number 21, Niles Morgan, linebacker, Edmonton. Morgan was one of the best tacklers in the CFL, and numbers back it up. The linebacker is coming off a back-to-back seasons with at least 100 tackles and combining for 2024 Rookie of the Year Nick Anderson to form one of the best duos in the league. Their presence in the middle of the defense helped the Elks finish fourth in rushing yards allowed per game, 96.1, and yards per attempt at 4.0, while also forcing 38 total turnovers, and good for third most in the CFL. Number 20, Stanley Bryan, offense line, Winnipeg, already extended, so we're going to skip past him. Number 19, Dalton Schoen, wide receiver for Winnipeg. Schoen's health and timing of return drops him further down the list than he'd like if he were healthy in 2024. Last year's ranked 4 player on the free agency list, Schoen went down with a knee injury in week 3 and was lost for the season. Assuming the 28-year-old gets back to full strength in 2025, expect to see his name at or near the top of the leading receivers list. He was third in the league in receiving in 2023 with 1,222 yards and a league-leading 10 touchdowns. Led the league in receiving in 2022 with 1,441 yards and 16 touchdowns for his most outstanding rookie campaign. Number 18, Kenny Lawler, receiver, Winnipeg. If you're looking at just his numbers in 2024, you might think that Lawler was had an underwhelming season. Remember that. Broken arm sidelined him early in the Bombers camp, though consider how the 30-year-old 5-year vet performed for his team down the stretch of the season. You can see a big-time player who's comfortable under the bright lights. Lawler was huge in the West Final, pulling in 4 catches for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Bombers' win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Number 17, Damian Webb, DB, Ottawa. Webb enjoyed a breakout season in Ottawa, pulling in a career best 5 interceptions to finish third in the league. In that category, Webb's best showing came in the Red Blacks' Week 14 win over Toronto, when he had a pair of pick sixes to help blow the game open early. The 20-year-old added 68 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble to his resume in 2024. Showing that he's a key contributor who can swing a game with a big play. Number 16, Lorenzo Malden IV, defensive line, Ottawa. The 22 most outstanding defensive player, now a 2-time All-CFL selection, Malden had 52 tackles for Red Blacks in 2024, tied for the league in sacks with 8. Malden led the league. Red Blacks defense that finished tied for second in sacks with 39. Disruptive force on the field. Malden added a pair of forced fumbles and a recovery this past season. prumbling the team back into the playoffs for the first time since 2018. Running back returner Javon Leake, Edmonton. Leake gets the distinction of being the first running back to make the list. That separates him from his ground-bound peers, while reconnecting with his running back roots in Edmonton in 2024, playing the position for the first time since he was playing his college ball at Maryland. Leake showed that he can run the ball at the CFL level, rushing for 661 yards and 6 touchdowns after taking the running back duties after the third time in this season. Add that he arrived in Edmonton as the 2023 most outstanding player, and you have a unique dual threat who can make game-changing plays, whether he's taking a handoff or running back or returning a back, running a return back. Just 26, Leake has plenty of football left in him and can instantly improve the team he's playing for in 2025. Number 14, Jake Ceresna. 2024 marks the pinnacle of Jake Ceresna's career. After 6 seasons, Ceresna enjoyed his first lengthy playoff run, capping it with a win in the 111th Grey Cup with the Toronto Argonauts. The season as a whole was a joy for the 30-year-old, as he tied for the league in sacks with 8 and named to the All-CFL for his second time in his career. Ceresna helped spearhead an aggressive and productive Argos defense. His play should have the attention of all GMs across the league, including Argos GM Michael Pinball Clemens, as the team is looking to bring back most of its championship squad in 2025. We're going to move on to the next player. Keep in mind, a lot of fans in Toronto are going to want their players to come back. Keep in mind, they just won a Grey Cup, so, Toronto players are going to want some extra chingle. So you can bring back some, but it's going to cost you other players on the team. Number 13, Eugene Lewis, receiver, Edmonton. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is or what the circumstances are. Geno Lewis is all about production. In his 7th season and second in Edmonton, Lewis went over for 1,000 yards receiving mark for the 3rd time in his career, pulling in 74 catches for over 1,070 yards, 10 touchdowns, with an average of 14.5. At 32, Lewis' consistent has been his most impressive trait. From 18 to 24, he averaged 1,023.5 yards per season, catching passes from a range of quarterbacks in that time, covering Vernon Adams Jr. to Trevor Harris to Taylor Cornelius to Trey Ford to McLeod Bethel Thompson. There's no reason to think he won't continue to produce in 2025. Number 17, Darius Pickett, defensive back, Ottawa. Pickett is the kind of player every team needs, in that he impacts the game all over the field and serves as the heartbeat of the defense he's playing in. He was doing just that in Ottawa this year, playing a key role in the team's reassuranceness and return to the playoffs, marking the Red Blacks' first postseason appearance in 2018. In 13 games, Pickett had 52 tackles and 14 on special teams and an interception and a sack before going down to a ruptured Achilles in week 15. That injury and its recovery dropped him in these rankings. As we could have well into the 2025 season before the 28-year-old might get back on the field. Pickett will be something of an investment signing, but he's worth the wait. Number 11, Jameer Thurman, linebacker, Saskatchewan. Last year in the free agency, Thurman made the move from Hamilton to Saskatchewan and made a tremendous impact with the Rough Riders. His 76 tackles and 2 interceptions and a sack and forced fumble helped spark head coach Corey Mace's defense and helped the Riders back into the playoffs for the first time since 2021. Similar to Pickett and McManus, Thurman is galvanizing force for the defense and his team overall. The 29-year-old 6-year vet brings more than impressive stats to the table when he signs his contract. Number 10, Martez Ivey. If you don't know Martez Ivey's name by now, you should learn it. The left tackle was part of the Elks offensive line that excelled in 2024, allowing the 3 different running backs to hit 500 yards and a league-leading 121.4 yards per game on the ground and a CFL best 6.2 yards per rush. The unit also allowed a league-low 29 sacks on Trey Ford and McLeod Bethel Thompson. PFF also is high on Ivy with their advanced analytics as well. According to PFF, he allowed no sacks this year and has the highest run block grade from week 1 to the Grey Cup at 85.8 and had the highest overall offensive guard or offensive grade amongst offensive linemen, 75.9. Anyone needing a solid offensive lineman would be happy with Ivy if he doesn't stay in Edmonton. Number 9, Matthew Batts, defensive lineman, BC. Matthew Batts was a menace at the line of scrimmage. Batts may have statistically had a down year from what we're used to, 18 sacks in 2023, but you have to remember he only played half a season and was readjusting from time spent around the NFL. In 7 games, the 6'3", 250-pound had 15 tackles, 2 sacks, and a pick 6. The 29-year-old national status represses pass rush moves will be attractive to any team, including the BC, if they decide to lock him up to a new contract before his current one expires in February. Number 8, Willie Jefferson, defensive line, Winnipeg. Willie Jefferson is one of the most dangerous defenders in the CFL. He dominates the line of scrimmage so many ways. He can beat offensive linemen just with his quick pass rush moves with his long reach and can also bat down passes, telling 10 knockdowns this season. Not a moment is too big for the big man who earns his 6th All-CFL nod this year, which we are treated to 2 in the 111th Grey Cup. Jefferson had 2 sacks, 6 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a forced fumble, and an interception. The 6'7", 245-pound has been on the Bombers' defensive line since 2019. If he doesn't sign an extension with Peg, any team will be gladly have him. Number 7, Janarian Grant, returner and receiver. There is no player with more spectacular on special teams in 2024 than Janarian Grant. He was outstanding, literally winning the most outstanding teams player at the CFL Awards this year, and was given his 2nd All-CFL nod. Grant was most dangerous anytime has the ball in his hands, easily flipping the field for the offense. He ranked for the 1st in the league in punt return yards at 989, punt return average as 14.8, and punt return touchdowns 3. Finished the year 2nd in kick return average 24.4 and 4th in kick return yards, 1,000 yards, while returning a 103-yard kickoff for a major score. After beating his former club in the 111th Grey Cup, Grant should have plenty of options if he decides to let his contract expire and hit the open market. Number 6, Trevor Harris. We will skip because he signed an extension. Number 5, receiver Justin Hardy with Ottawa. Justin Hardy has been become one of the best pass catchers in the CFL over the last 2 years. He's tallied 2 1,000-yard seasons in a row, hauling in 1,009 in 2023 and 1,343 yards in 2024. What makes his last 2 campaigns more impressive is the fact that he's had to catch passes from multiple quarterbacks. The 5'10", 192-pounder has also led the league in receptions in 2024, with 97 always his favorite target for whoever's throwing passes for the Redblacks. If he decides to move on from the nation capital, any team would get a consistent receiver to add to the receiver. Number 4, Tyrell Ford, defensive back, Winnipeg. Tyrell Ford emerged as one of the Bombers' best defensive players in 2024, solidifying himself as the top corner in the CFL, earning his first All-CFL nod. The Canadian was consistently around football, finishing the year tied for second in knockdowns, 12. Second in interceptions with 7. Advanced analytics also provided. According to PFF, he finished the year with best defensive grade of 91.8 and second best coverage grade amongst defensive backs at 92.0. PFF also had the 26-year-old totaling most forced interceptions or incompletions, 19, and only 24 passing yards allowed in over 7 targets in the 111th Grey Cup, good for less than 4 yards per attempt. Any team looking to make an upgrade in their secondary will be looking to sign Ford, who's a national passport if he doesn't decide to stay in Winnipeg. Number 3, Winton McManus, a.k.a. the Toothpick King, linebacker, Toronto. There aren't many players in the CFL that can dominate a game like the way that Winton McManus can. We saw it on full display in 111th Grey Cup when he tallied 6 tackles, an interception, he ran in for a score, and 3 knockdowns. He played in just 12 games, totaling 57 tackles on defense and another 3 on special teams to go, along with a pick 6 and a sack, and a fumble recovery. If McManus doesn't decide to stay with the team that he won 2 Grey Cups with, any of the other 8 clubs could welcome him in with open arms if they're looking to immediately add a playmaker to the middle of their defense. Number 2, I want to glue this down so I don't. Reception, BC, Justin McInnes. An impact playmaker with Canadian passport sounds like a general manager's dream. Justin McInnes in the CFL is Justin McInnes led the CFL in receiving yards in 2024, reeling in 1,169 to go along with 7 touchdowns and earning himself first ever all CFL selection. His big play skills were also on a full display, leading to the CFL in catches over 30 yards with 10. The 6'5", 210-pound had 5 games over 100, including a season high 243, completing 14 of 14 passes thrown his way in week 6 against the Riders. Should he not stay in BC? Should he have his pick as to where he plays in 2025? The question is, who's number 1? Ray Ford, who's already extended, so we don't go after that. So that is the top 30 free agents. Only one from our beloved Ticats, so that's a good sign. But as the days go on, we'll look at quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, different free agents at different positions along the ways as we prepare for free agency on February 12th. However, this is Rick from Ticats Talk Network for another video for the offseason. If you made it this far in this video, greatly appreciated, and have yourself a great rest of your evening.